Beast short films explore the prejudice East Asians face on British screens.
The representation of East Asians on screen tends to be stereotypical or involve racist tropes.
Often when you see East Asian characters on screen, they are there to be a racial signifier to reinforce their otherness.
Beast short films use verbatim dialogue
Taken from interviews with British East Asians working in cinema and television
to look at the experiences and challenges they face.
Each film restages classic British film or television dramas,
but with East Asian actors in the leading roles
in order to highlight the invisibility of our representation on screen.
But I suppose the big one was Pandora. I was literally dicking around and it was in the back page of the stage. I think it said Oriental male actor, and I applied for it and was given the audition address and to meet the director, Greg Way. And I'd seen him in Butterfly, which again was an incredible experience. So I'd say meeting him at that point, that play, it kind of changed my life in a lot of ways. I was lucky in a way. I went in and read, and talking to Greg, he asked me where my family was from, and I said Singapore. And he said, I'm from Singapore. I'd not really met any Chinese people beyond my family, to be honest. I was quite kind of like, you know, people talk about community. We're not a community. We're just so not a community, and there's something quite sad about that, I think. Just feeling kind of completely culturally cut out from everything, really. I then had to go back and audition for the other director, and then I got the job. That was an incredible experience, because I went from theatre and everyone's watching it, then it was transferring to the Royal Court, and Alan recommended me to be in Hamlet with him. It totally changed my life, but it also made me think. It led me up the garden path in a way, because I was thinking, wow, I've arrived. And the problem is, you do something like that and it is great, but then you're straight back out in the marketplace auditioning for Mr. Chan in the instant noodles commercial, and that is just profoundly depressing for me. It kind of just does something to me. I don't get anything from it. It kind of just depresses me, you know? Because it was a play about a Chinese guy, Chinese people came to see it. I was hanging out with Chinese people for the first time, and Japanese people as well, and East Asians. And that was really quite nice, actually. It was really quite amazing. And the play was incredibly powerful, and people seemed to like it. But, you know, it was just funny being in it with a bunch of white guys. And some of the stuff they said backstage was blatantly racist.
What kind of things?
Well, there was this one guy who used to go on about Chinese girls' vaginas all the time, that the slit goes the other way. And I'm just sitting there listening to this fucking shit. And it's in the dressing room. But I was just happy doing it, because I actually felt like a kind of actor. It makes me sad, because there are people out there, Chinese East Asian people, who are trying to be actors, and I'm not sure they ever feel like actors. They're kind of rocking out silly commercials and stuff like that, and I'm not sure they ever feel like actors. Maybe some of them don't want to be. Maybe I shouldn't feel so patronisingly feel so sorry for them, But I do think a lot of them, I just don't think a lot of them have ever experienced what it's like, and I have, and I feel really lucky for that. It was a proper chunky part in a proper kind of fiery drama, and people were queuing up to see it. Like, the Royal Court was just amazing, and there was a picture of me outside. I should have got a poster. I never thought about it at the time. I just didn't think it was a big deal. But looking back on it, it was a huge deal. It was like spring. It was like now the summer was out, which was gorgeous, and it was just a really nice feeling, and people were wanting me to audition for things. Then after I did Hamlet, which he recommended me to do, things seemed to be kind of happening. There have been several times like that in my career. I think I felt, wow, I'm on the cusp, and then it's just sunk, and you're basically back to Mr. Chan in the instant noodles commercial, and it's just been a lot like that, basically.
So you were doing Mr. Chan and noodle commercials in between for money kind of thing?
No, I never got those jobs, never.
You didn't get them?
No, I very rarely got them. No, I don't remember ever getting more than... I think they weeded me out quite quickly because I was half Chinese, and you could really feel that. Literally, I'd walk into the room and you could feel them going, oh, and not being kind of their idea of what a Chinese person should be. People have this idea of what you can see in this photograph of this guy, and they want this kind of classic Hong Kong look, I'd say, with funny sounding names and funny sounding accents and all that, and I just wasn't that. So no, I never ever got those jobs, no. And I was doing awful jobs in between just to make ends meet. Like, it was just terrible, and I actually stopped going for TV auditions a couple of years ago because it just felt like a DNA contest rather than any kind of acting thing, and that's just depressing, to be honest. It's one thing not getting the part because you're not right for it. You're not going to get the part, but they're going to cast somebody literally who's never done any acting before because they look and sound Southern Chinese. And the Chinese character, literally, the male Chinese character, isn't there to be interesting anyway. So actually, it's not in their interest to cast someone interesting. They don't want someone to attract too much attention. They just want someone to turn up, be yellow and weird, and fuck off again. You're not actually there to partake in any drama particularly. Very rarely, I think. So, no. I never got those parts. No.